can love like Jesus. I wanna be a good, good friend, good, good friend, a good, good friend. Oh, I wanna be a good, good friend, just like Jesus. With His help, I will forgive, I will forgive, I will forgive. Oh, with His help, I will forgive.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am so excited that you have decided to join us here this morning. I'm so happy to see you. They say time flies when you're having fun, and 2021 is moving right along. So we'll be having a good old time today. This month, we've been talking about responsibility. If you remember, responsibility is showing you can be trusted with what is expected of you. And we have learned so much about how to be responsible with our actions, with our thoughts. And today, we're going to be talking about how we can be responsible with the gifts that we are given. If you want to have fun playing any game, then you need to be responsible and play by the rules. And it's like that in real life too. And we can follow some really important rules of life that will help us play well and finish strong. So today, we're going to kick off today's lesson with another round of our game. We have gone so far since the beginning and have learned a lot of different things about responsibility. Every time that we roll the dice, we get to move a few spaces forward and learn something very important about life and responsibility and what Jesus says about it, as well as play a pretty awesome game as well. So now, we're going to roll the dice again and see where it leads us. Oh, I think we're going to be heading to the end pretty soon. And the dice is 2. 2 spots. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's count together. Ready? 1, 2. And our new game today is this. What do these shapes make? Oh man, I really think you're going to like this game. If you're with us in the live service, you're going to need your clipboard, pencils, crayons, and any other drawing utensils you have in your packets. If you're watching this at home, you're going to need some drawing materials, some paper, and your creativity. So go ahead and get those materials ready, pause the video if you need to, and we'll get started when you're ready. On the screen now, you will see 4 circles drawn just like this. You will need to copy these 4 circles on your piece of paper. When the music begins, I want you to draw something that will complete the picture. You get to use your creativity in so many different ways, and today you get to make something that is based off these circles. So you just keep drawing until the music ends, and after we're finished, we will explain what we've drawn. Are you ready? You can begin as soon as the music starts and draw whatever comes to mind. Remember, this has to include the 4 circles on your page. On the count of 3, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Come on. I believe Jesus is helping me. I can do the things that He does. I can love like Jesus. I believe His light can shine through me. I can do the things that He does. I can love like Jesus. I wanna be a good, good friend, good, good friend, a good, good friend. Oh, I wanna be a good, good friend, just like Jesus. With His help, I will forgive, I will forgive, I will forgive. Oh, with His help, I will forgive, just like Jesus. I believe Jesus is helping me. I can do the things that He does. I can love like Jesus. I believe His light can shine through me. I can do the things that He does. I can love like Jesus. I wanna be a good, good friend, a good, good friend, a good, good friend. Oh, I wanna be a good, good friend, just like Jesus. With His help, I will forgive, I will forgive, I will forgive. Oh, with His help, I will forgive, just like Jesus. Everybody now. I can love like Jesus. I can love like Jesus. I can love like Jesus.
Fantastic job, everyone. See, I knew you were talented, and look what you drew. My. I just love it when we get to use our gifts that God gave us to make really cool stuff. And we get to use our gifts to help others and especially worship God. It's a responsibility itself as followers of Jesus to worship and follow what Jesus teaches us. When Jesus was on earth, everyone wanted to hear what he had to say. And Jesus had a gift for explaining things to people who followed him. He would often tell stories. These stories were called parables. If you remember, parables are earthly stories with heavenly meanings. Jesus would describe everyday situations to help people understand God's truth for themselves. One day in Jerusalem, Jesus told a story to his followers, and he told it just like this. Once there was a boss going on a journey, and he called 3 of his servants and gave them some money. He wanted them to take care of it while he was gone. To the first servant, he gave 5 bags of gold. To the next servant, he gave 2 bags of gold. And lastly, to the third servant, he gave only 1 bag of gold. While the boss was away, it was time for the servants to get to work. And the boss expected of them to use his money well, and to make even more money while he was away. So the manager went away, and the servants went right to work. The man with the 5 bags of gold went to work, and he earned 5 more bags of gold. The man with 2 bags of gold went to work, and he got 2 more bags of gold. But the servant who only had 1 was greedy. He decided to take his bag of gold, go out, and hide it in the dirt. Eventually, the boss came back, and he wanted to see how his servants were getting along. And he was excited to see what they had done. He went to the first servant and saw that he had gained 5 more bags of gold. And he said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with few things, and I will put you in charge of many things." The boss went over to the second servant and saw that he had double the bags of gold he had. And he said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, and I will put you in charge of many things." But then the boss came to the last servant. See, the last servant tried to explain himself by saying, "You harvest where you have not planted. You gather crops where you have not scattered seeds. And I could not work as hard. So I ran away and hid your gold in the ground." The boss was very disappointed to see that the servant hadn't done anything with what he was given. And he told the servant that he should have put the money in the bank instead of putting it in the dirt. At least he would have been given some interest. He then told the other servants to go find the 1 bag of gold in the dirt, and it would belong to the servant who had 10 bags. Now, Jesus' story has a really clear message for us, that those who are responsible with what they are given will be given more, but those who waste their responsibility in the end will have nothing. In the story that Jesus told, he uses an example of money, and we definitely need to be responsible with the money and possessions we have, but this is a rule of life, and it's not just talking about money, but instead, we should make the most with the gifts and talents that God has given us. That we should make the most of our knowledge and our strength and the love that we have and the things that we've experienced in our lives. That we should make the most of the love that God has given us by sharing His love to Him and to others. In the story, God is like the boss, and we're like the people that He entrusted with the bags of gold. And we have a responsibility to make the most of what we have been given. And that is exactly what we walk away with today. Make the most of what you've been given. I want us to say this together on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Make the most of what you've been given. So what does this look like for you? Well, it could look like a lot of different things. Any way that you use your heart, your strength, your smarts, your creativity. Anything that you do for the glory of God. And you do it because it is your responsibility. The lesson today is exactly what our scripture verse teaches us. It's from Luke chapter 16, verse 10. And we're going to read this together on the count of 3 as well. 1, 2, 3. Suppose you can be trusted with something very little, then you can also be trusted with something very large. If we can be good in the little things, then we can also be good in the great things. And God always gives us great things for us to do. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And we need an example to follow. And the perfect example of making the most of what we have is to look at what Jesus did. Jesus made the most of his time with the people while he was on earth. He showed love to everyone and helped them understand what's most important to God. Those who listened to him and followed him took his teachings as a part of their responsibility to love others and to help them. And we need to do just that. We need to make the wise choices and to make the most of what God has given us with our money, our possessions, our talents, our relationships, and our time. It's the most important good that we can do, and it takes a good person like you to do good things. We are so close to finishing our game. Next week, we're going to be in the sanctuary together as we bring our final round to the whole church. So make sure you join us next week as we conclude this series. Have a safe week, everyone, and I will see you all next time.
I can love like Jesus. I